Hi guys, this is Heart Secrets Horizons of the Philippines, and for today's video, we will be talking about something that's not often discussed. The questions you need to be asking to a Filipina single mom before you fully invest your feelings and time into a relationship with a Filipina single mom. So I've already talked about the risks and positives of dating Filipina single moms in my previous videos, and you can watch these videos here because I'm gonna add them on my I button. So yes, there are risks in dating Filipino single moms, and you really have to make sure that you won't be a loser dating one. So that's exactly the importance of this video. While there are a lot of vloggers out there who will tell you how sweet, loyal, and caring Filipinos are, they don't necessarily discuss the reality checks that you need to be doing before things get serious here. So today, I'm going to share to you some of the crucial questions that you have to ask a Filipina single mom before you start dating her. And trust me, this will save you from a world of problems later on. Number one, find out if this Filipina single mom is really separated from the father of the children. I've always been honest, and I've always said that there are Filipinas out there who will take every opportunity to take advantage of foreigners. So in this case, there will be Filipino single moms who will show interest of dating you, who are eager to date you, even if she hasn't been really separated from the father of her children. So in that case, she's using you for financial gains. That does not necessarily mean that all Filipino single moms are like that. There are also other Filipino single moms who are really separated from the father of their children for several reasons. And so while you are being honest and transparent with her, she could have been lying about her situation. Imagine you are emotionally invested to her. You might be even sending money to her. And then she's just there living in the same roof with the father of her children. And I really don't think that that situation is just complicated, because I believe that's heartbreaking, and at the same time, it's a waste of energy, effort, and emotions. So that's why I always tell guys, I always tell foreign men to visit the Philippines and observe her in her environment. Don't just rely on online communication, online conversations, because virtual communication can be staged. Yes, and when you're here, you can actually see who she really is by observing her in her environment. You can watch how she interacts with people when she's not guarded, unlike in online conversations or virtual communication. There are so many little details that you can pick up in real life compared to you're just talking online. The next thing you need to know is, why is she a single mom? Becoming a single mom can happen because of so many different several reasons. There are Filipinos who choose peace and their well-being over staying in a relationship with a lying, cheating, and irresponsible partner. Actually, I respect this reason, because being with a toxic partner drains your energy, and instead of fighting a losing battle, it's much better if you focus on your children instead. And if this is her story, then it's not something you need to worry about. However, there are also cases where Filipinos become single moms because they can't be trusted. They can stay faithful. So that's a huge difference from the first scenario that I mentioned earlier. So You've seen a lot of Filipinas who are interviewed by other vloggers from other YouTube channels, and most of them will say that they're dating foreigners because they are looking for someone who's loyal, because Filipinos are cheaters and irresponsible and liars. And yes, I really think that there's some truth to that. But here's the part that you often don't hear. There are also Filipinas who are cheaters and liars, and you have to be very careful in dealing with these Filipinas. Of course, this is not widely talked about by a lot of vloggers because their target audience is you or the foreigners who are interested in dating Filipinas. So they won't be talking about it because they only want the good side of the Filipinas to be shown. But if she became a single mom because she can be trusted, she is very unfaithful, then my only advice is run. Don't walk, because this is a very big red flag and you should never ignore it. So the next thing you need to ask to a Filipina single mom is if the father of her children is still in their lives. So this is very different from the first question, because in the first question, it's like asking if is she really separated. In this question, you will be asking if she is still in their lives, like maybe they're separated already, like they're really separated, but is he really still present in the lives of the children? Because co-parenting is not very common here in the Philippines and like in Western countries. So you need to know whether the father of the children is still supporting them financially, or if he really like completely disappeared from the picture, because it is really common here in the Philippines that even before the baby is born, the father has ran away already. These questions will help you know whether the father is still there, helping in raising the kids. In that case, if he just disappeared completely before the baby was born, then you really don't need to worry about his presence. But if they are co-parenting, then you should need to know that there will be times the mother or the Filipino single mom and her baby daddy would see each other for the sake of the kids. That doesn't always mean that there's something romantic going on. However, you should also need to know upfront so you don't have to be shocked or insecure later on. But I really don't think you won't understand the arrangement, or you would think that there's still something going on, because I think you're very open-minded with how co-parenting works because it's common in Western countries. So I don't think that's a big deal, as long as the Filipino single mom is being honest with you in the very first place. The fourth thing you need to ask to a Filipina single mom is her long-term goals, especially with her children or her kids. Let's face it, her children won't be like kids forever and ever. They would also grow. Their needs and wants would be different from when they were still 5 or 6 years old. So this is something many foreigners overlook, because you're not just dating her, but you're also potentially investing in her children, because most of the time you will also step up as the father figure of the children. So you should ask her if does she have plans for the kids? Is she saving money for her children? What are her plans if her children would grow up and they want to go to college? If she doesn't have a clear vision or goal for her kids, then this might be a cause of conflict or conflicts in the near future, because at the end of the day, her children will be her priority at some point. The next thing you need to ask to a Filipina single mom is this: if the baby daddy, or if they are still co-parenting, what's the arrangement like? You can ask what the schedule looks like. Like, when does the baby daddy or the father of her kids get to see the child or the children? Do they spend weekends together? Do they attend school events together? I think this is something you need to know, because once you're in the picture, there will be times, or there will be instances where these arrangements might affect your time with her. And there are also people or men who are not really comfortable knowing that their Filipino girlfriend is still meeting their ex regularly, even if it's just for parenting. So by knowing these in advance, then you can decide whether this is something you're comfortable with, or this is something that's tolerable for you. So at least you can decide whether you can handle these arrangement, or these specific arrangement, or not. The next thing you need to ask to a Filipina single mom is, would she be willing to relocate to your home country? For me, this is a very big question, especially if you're planning for a long-term relationship with her. If things work out, would she be open to moving to your home country, or just moving abroad with you? And if yes, would she bring her kids with her? I think moving children in another country, or moving children across countries, is not that simple, especially if she is still co-parenting with the father of her children, because for sure the father has a say in it, in that decision. So you need to know how she feels about this now. Like now, you don't have to delay it, because some Filipino single moms are like really open to relocating to another country for a better life. And this does not need a lot of discussion, especially if the baby daddy is not in the picture anymore. However, if the baby daddy is still in the picture, then that needs a little bit of discussion. So, well, there are also Filipinas who would also prefer to just stay here in the Philippines because of their family obligations. So this is something that you really need to be upfront about, especially when you start to like meet Filipino single moms, because for me, a single mom has a lot to consider before entering into a new relationship. So I think before fully committing your time, your money, and your emotions to a Filipina single mom, so you need to really ask these questions. So let's just wrap it up and summarize all those questions. So first question is she really separated from the father of her children? Next is, why did she become a single mom in the first place? And next, third question, is the father still in their lives? And if he is, because they're co-parenting, so how does their co-parenting arrangement looks like? And does she have long-term goals? What are her long-term goals for herself and also for her kids? Or how would relocating affect her future plans, and also her kids. So asking these questions does not necessarily mean that you don't trust these Filipino single moms. It's just that you're protecting yourself from getting into a situation that could hurt you both emotionally and financially once you start or once you decide to send her money. And most importantly, I think these questions show that you are really serious in building a future with a Filipina single mom. So guys, what do you think? Would you be comfortable asking these questions to a Filipina single mom? Or do you think these questions would scare her away? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So once again, this is Heart Secrets and Horizons of the Philippines. See you in the next one. Bye guys!